It is the 14th of the month. You open your banking app to check your balance before a bigger purchase. While you are there, you scroll down through the transaction list. Planet Fitness, $42. Adobe, $14.99. iCloud storage, $2.99. A streaming service you forgot you had, $15.99. Another one, $11.99. You do not remember approving most of these. You definitely do not remember the iCloud one. You have not opened that gym app in 4 months. None of these charges felt like a decision when they happened. Each one felt like nothing. That feeling, the specific feeling of a charge being too small to notice, is not an accident. It is not your memory failing you. It is a documented psychological mechanism that an entire category of business was built around exploiting. It has a name. And once you see it, you will never look at a small recurring charge the same way again. Here it is. Here is the strange thing about how your brain processes money. A $5,000 car repair feels like a financial event. You remember it. You feel it. You might lose sleep over it. You tell your friends about it. But $15 a month, charged automatically, 12 times a year, year after year, feels like nothing at all. Even when it adds up to more than the car repair within 3 years. Your brain is not built to calculate recurring small numbers. It is built to react to single large numbers. This is called mental accounting, a concept introduced by the economist Richard Thaler, who won the Nobel Prize in Economics in 2017 partly for this work. Mental accounting describes how your brain sorts money into separate mental categories rather than treating it as one single pool. A windfall gets treated differently than a paycheck. A small recurring charge gets treated differently than a large one-time purchase, even when the total cost is identical or higher. The $15 subscription does not register in the same mental account as money I am spending. It registers somewhere closer to nothing, because the brain categorizes based on the size of the individual transaction, not the cumulative cost over time. This is precisely why subscription businesses are now the fastest growing category in the entire economy. C+R Research conducted a study that asked people to estimate their monthly subscription spending. The average guess was $86 a month. Then the researchers had each person go through their actual bank statements line by line. The real number was $219 a month, not $86, $219, a gap of $133 every single month that people did not know they were spending. $133 a month, compounded over 10 years at a 7% return, $23,000. $23,000 sitting invisible inside transactions too small for your brain to register as real spending. And that is only the 10-year number. Run the same $133 a month over 20 years, and it becomes $69,000. Over 30 years, the length of an actual working career, it becomes $163,000. $163,000. Lost entirely to charges that individually felt like nothing. This is not an accident of human psychology. It is the deliberate business model of an entire industry. Subscription companies do not price their products to feel expensive. They price them to feel like nothing. $12, $9.99, $4.99 for the basic tier. Each individual price point is calibrated specifically below the threshold where your brain registers a transaction as significant. Inside the industry, this is sometimes called micropricing. You experience it as it is basically free. The business model depends entirely on you never adding the numbers together. The moment you actually sum every recurring charge across your accounts, the spell breaks immediately, which is exactly why almost nobody does it. 42% of subscribers admit they have forgotten about a subscription they are still actively being charged for. Not canceled it. Forgotten it. I want to tell you about someone. His name is Marcus. Marcus is 29. Software developer. Good income around $85,000 a year. Considers himself financially responsible. Has an emergency fund. Contributes to his 401k. Reads finance articles. The kind of person who genuinely believes he has a handle on his money. One Sunday afternoon, after watching a video about this exact topic, Marcus decided to actually list every subscription he was paying for. Not estimate. List. He opened his bank statement and went line by line for 3 months back. Streaming services. 4 of them. $61 combined. He only actively watched 2. A meal kit service he had paused 6 months ago that somehow reactivated itself after a system update. $79 a month. He had eaten exactly 1 meal from it since the reactivation. Cloud storage across 2 different providers because he forgot he already had one when he signed up for the second. $19 combined for storage he was using maybe a third of. A premium version of an app he used once during a free trial 18 months ago and never canceled. $9 a month every month since then. $162 total for an app he opened a single time. A gym membership at a location he moved away from 14 months ago. $45 a month. $630 paid to a gym he has not physically entered in over a year. He kept adding. By the time he finished the list, there were 11 separate subscriptions. Total monthly cost, $234. His estimate before he started the exercise, around $70. The gap was over $3,000 a year. Money that had been leaving his account every single month for over a year, completely invisible to him, despite him considering himself someone who paid close attention to his finances. Marcus was not careless. Marcus was experiencing exactly what the research predicts happens to almost everyone, including people who think this could never happen to them. His brain had correctly filed each individual charge as too small to matter. The system worked exactly as the companies charging him designed it to work. He sat with the full list for a long time. He was not angry at himself. He was angry at how invisible the whole thing had been by design. At the gym that kept charging him for over a year without a single email checking in. At the app company that knew exactly how many free trial users forget to cancel and built their pricing model around that number. So what actually fixes this? Not budgeting harder, not trying to remember better. Your brain's filing system is not going to change through willpower. The fix has to work around the mechanism, not against it. 3 things. The first is the full reconciliation. Once, just once, to start, go through 3 months of bank and credit card statements and list every single recurring charge you find. Not from memory, from the statement. Memory is exactly the system that failed Marcus despite his confidence. The statement does not lie to you the way your memory does. Most people who do this exercise find at least 2 subscriptions they completely forgot existed. Set aside 30 minutes, pull up every account, write down every charge under $5 and every charge that repeats monthly. This is the only step in this entire video that requires real effort. Every step after this one is designed to take less than a minute. The second is the annual conversion rule. Before evaluating any subscription, convert the monthly price into its annual cost and say the annual number out loud. $12 a month becomes $144 a year. $45 a month becomes $540 a year. Your brain dismisses $12 instantly. It does not dismiss $144 as easily. The number is identical. The framing is what changes the decision. This single reframe is the entire defense against mental accounting. It forces the small transaction back into the big number category where your brain actually pays attention. The third is the quarterly subscription audit. Once every 3 months, open your statements and review every active subscription against one question. Did I actually use this in the last 30 days? Not, might I use it? Not, I should probably use it more. Did I use it? If the answer is no, cancel it that day. Not next week, that day. The window where you notice closes fast, and the subscription business model depends on that window closing before you act. Set a calendar reminder. First Sunday of every quarter, 15 minutes. That is the entire system. Notice what these 3 habits have in common. None of them require you to spend less on the things you actually value. None of them ask you to give up the streaming service you watch every week or the gym you actually attend. They are not about deprivation. They are about making the invisible visible, just often enough that mental accounting cannot quietly take over again in the gap between audits. Marcus ran his first full reconciliation that Sunday. He found 11 subscriptions. He canceled 7 of them within the hour. That immediately put $161 a month back into his own account. Nearly $2,000 a year. Money that had been leaving silently for over a year, now redirected into his investment account through one afternoon of looking at numbers most people never look at. He did not earn more. He did not work harder. He looked at something that was designed specifically to never be looked at. I want you to picture that banking app again. Same transaction list, same scroll. But this time you know what each line actually costs you in a year, not just in the moment it was charged. You know that $15 is $180. You know that $42 is $504. The charges have not changed. You have. Who are you when you scroll through that list and finally see the real numbers instead of the small ones designed to be invisible? Because that person,
Whoa, a
the
forgotten
one who
subscription?
converted every monthly number
$14.99
into
a
its
month?
true annual
I need to
cost,
check these
who
bills
looked
more
instead
often.
of guessed, that person compounds too. Go check right now. 3 months of statements, 15 minutes. And when you find the one you forgot about, and you will find one, drop it in the comments. The forgotten gym membership, the duplicate cloud storage, the app you used once 18 months ago. I want to know which one it was.